Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, and here it is, March. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. I thought I muted the call, but hello, everyone. It's Dempsey, your Black Diamond leader, and I am so excited to meet with some special friends of mine today and to talk with you guys about a very important topic. And I got to say, February was out of this world, and March is going to be madness. Probably why they call it March Madness, right? Or even better yet, March Madness, because he put these crazy bonuses out there, and things are just booming. And I know you're all seeing that within your organizations personally and then within your teams. And that's why today is so important. This idea of transfer belief and being able to bring in all these new people and help them to catch the vision for what we're doing with it works, but also to raise their vision of what they can do themselves and what they're capable of, and the amazing opportunity in front of them and how we take care of that. So with that said, I've got two very special guests on the call with me today. Kirsten Johnson, ambassador out of Canada. Are you on with me? Uh-oh. Kirsten, did you get on the moderator line? Debbie Sasek?
Hello, Cammie. How are you?
Yay! Hi, Debbie. Hopefully, Kirsten will get on the moderator line here, and then we'll be able to hear from her as well. But I'm just really excited about this, Debbie, because I really believe this is foundational, not only for me as a business builder personally, but as I grow a team, being able to help raise their belief and their confidence and excitement, enthusiasm, and vision for what they've got their hands on. And, oh, my gosh, this is just so much fun. So let's go ahead and get started. And, Kirsten, when you jump on the moderator line, give us a shout-out so that we know that you're here. Yay!
I'm here.
Hi, Kirsten.
Hello.
Thank you so much. I got worried. I was nervous that maybe somehow with you being in Canada, maybe there was a challenge with the line. So good.
It was a little, but I'm here. I'm good.
Okay, good. All right, well, we're going to just start out. I mean, some of you are saying, well, what is belief transfer? Well, let's just start with belief. What's belief? Or confidence in what we're doing here. I mean, some of you are diamonds all the way up to black diamonds. And I just have to say that belief is what drives you from your inner core to know that you know that you know that you know that you're in the right place at the right time with the right company with the best products. It is just this rock solid feeling of your home, and you know this is where you're supposed to be, no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what the outcomes are, no matter how many yeses you're getting or how many no's you're getting, that you know that you know that you know that you're in the right place at the right time. And that's what we're going to talk to with you today, and especially as our teams are growing so quickly, we've got to be able to transfer that belief down to our teams and those new people coming in, and not just the ones we're personally sponsoring as leaders, but our teams are booming. Our teams are starting to be put in this level of leadership, and they might not even know exactly what that looks like or what they should do next. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And, I just have to say, remember that sometimes people with titles doesn't make them a leader. And so I want to make sure that as we're growing through this booming season, and especially in the month of March, that we still take time to grow and stretch ourselves as developing leaders. I know that I'm nowhere near where I was when I started 9 years ago, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be either. And so I'm constantly striving and listening and working hard to stay humble so that I'm absorbing more knowledge. And I think the more you learn, the more you realize we have so much to learn. But the goal here is to breed confidence not only within you as a leader as you continue to raise to the different layers of leadership, but as for your new people coming on board too. So let's talk about what that looks like generically, and I'll throw a few things out there, and then Debbie and Kirsten, I'll have you jump in. But let's just start by talking about, where do you build your belief? I mean, I know for me, in the beginning, had it not been for Pam's Monday night calls or the monthly meetings that we had here locally, I don't know where I would be right now. It was those meetings that kept me on course. It was those calls that kept me focused on income-producing activities. And when I felt like I was stuck or I was hitting a wall or things weren't working quite like I wanted them to, it was by attending those meetings and getting on those calls that I developed ideas and strategies for building my business, where I learned from other people in the field that were having success and what they were doing to get that success. And I would take things that somebody like Melody McFarland was doing down in Tennessee, and I'd apply it up here in Michigan, and you know what? It worked. I remember, Debbie, I'll never forget the first time that Pam called us and told us we were putting wraps on people at wrap parties. And or we heard her talking about that on a phone call, and we thought, really? So we started putting wraps on people, and the lid started blowing off our businesses. So, you know, those are places where you can get ideas and you can grow your confidence. You're going to get by like-minded people who encourage your dreams and your hopes and the marketing strategies you're using to build your business. What do you do, Debbie? You know, we're just talking very generically here, to grow your belief and confidence in the fact that you're in the right place at the right time.
I think, Tammy, like you said, the most important thing is keeping in touch, keeping in contact with phone calls and the events that are going on. But as people are just getting into the business, they have to believe that they're in business for themselves, but not by themselves, because we have so many systems in place now. And even though their team might blow up, they've got a leader above them or someone there to care about them, to help them walk them through those steps at the beginning.
Yes, absolutely, and especially as we're growing so quickly right now, I think it's important. I had a girl that, you know, her team was growing like crazy. She joined in February, and her team grew crazy in February, and she looked at me and she goes, "What do I do?" And I said, "You just keep asking questions. You just stay plugged in, and whenever you feel lost, you reach out." And I just got back from a training in Canada with Denise Walsh and Barbara Bozer and Barb Hauser and so many other amazing leaders. And one thing Denise said that really stuck out to me, I just like the verbiage of it. She said, plug in and reach out. Plug in and reach out. And I think as much as leaders, we want to transfer belief and help our team, our new team members and emerging leaders understand the importance of, of raising their belief and growing their confidence in the products and the company, the industry. We have to model that for them by doing it ourselves, but then we have to tell them that, hey, you got to want this too. I can't just want this for you. And we just have to have those real conversations. You need to plug in, and you need to reach out when you need help. I love that, Debbie. You're right. They're not in business for themselves or by themselves, but they are in business for themselves. So how about you, Kirsten? Is there anything else you do to, raise your own belief or continue to keep your confidence at the highest level? I mean, you're in a different country, and we're like practically the first in that country, and I got to believe that was challenging at times and still is.
Absolutely, Cam. And I love this because I'm going to have a little bit of a different perspective and still on the same wavelength as you guys, though. That belief has got to be there. And for the, I saw the company and I thought, to something, I had to trust that feeling in my heart and in my stomach. It all kind of aligned, and I thought, this is good. And a lot of times I feel like you got to just have belief in the product, right? That really is what kept me going. I actually never tried to wrap until I was a double diamond. And so a lot of people get really caught up on I need to see it work for me, and then I'll do this business. And I feel like, let's just make sure we have the belief. See, I couldn't have the belief on myself, so I wrapped as many people as I could, and I saw the results on people. So that is what kept me going. That is what kept me going through. And I just feel like sometimes we don't need to believe it and then see it. We'll see it. They say, like, you'll see it and then you're going to believe it, right? You have to see it to believe it. I think sometimes you have to believe it and then you are going to see it. So I took mine right down to the core, and I thought, I'm going to believe it, and then I'm going to start seeing it, because I just knew in my heart something was right about this, and if there's one time you're going to trust your gut instinct, let it be this time. And that's what I started out on, and that's what I continue with.
Well, okay, so then I love that, because if you're going to decide to believe it even before you see it, that's what faith is. What types of things, help us stay focused? I love what Mike says, your focus forms your future. And so I know for me, when I first started this business, it works did not look anything like it did today. So I'm with you, Kirsten. I was believing it before I saw it. Mm-hmm. I was holding on to a hope in which, I really believed in the message that this industry sold the ideals of residual income and freedom of time. And so, I took it upon myself to read a lot of books about the industry. I have attended seminars. I've listened to CDs, speakers on tape. And honestly, the reason I really enjoy plugging into events and being around people that believe in network marketing is because I want to guard my head and my heart. I know that this is where I want to be, and so I want to guard my head and my heart from the naysayers, from the people that aren't anywhere where I think it's funny how we listen to what people say that are nowhere near anywhere anywhere where we would want to be, but yet we take their advice. And I think we've got to keep our head and heart guarded by centering ourselves around like-minded people, people that believe in this industry, people that believe in it works, people believing in your dreams. And I understand. I am very lucky. I had two parents that taught me how to dream and pushed me to follow my dreams. And I'm not naive to know that not everybody comes from a home life like that. And so that's where us as leaders, we don't have to, we get to believe in our people before they believe in ourselves. And that's another form of belief transfer. That's where we get to help them see the vision that they're not seeing yet. We're going to describe what B looks like so they can get from A to point B. Maybe if their product knowledge is lacking or their fear in if this product will work, well, then they need to really do some research on the message that we have with it works, from prevention to, looking younger, living longer, doing it healthy. If they're that green personality, then tell them to do their research and not to feel bad about it. They're raising their confidence. They're building their belief. Getting to our events are going to help them do that as well. Maybe their core is shaken a little bit about the industry. They've never been in direct sales or a network marketing company. They've got to do their due diligence on our industry. And then obviously they got to do work-specific knowledge building from, we've been featured all over the place. I mean, if you want hardcore facts that this is a great company, then read the Inc. 500, 5,000 magazines we've been nominated in month after month for the last year after year for the last several years. How about the article that we were featured in Forbes? All the articles that it works is being featured in down in Florida and being one of the fastest growing companies. If you haven't read your copy of Success from Home or the Rap magazine from front to back, I have a hard time understanding how serious you are about this business. This is your business, and knowledge is power. And you've got to soak in anything and everything you can to really grasp what you've got your hands on. So let's go ahead and move it a little bit more specifically, because I think belief transfer, and I touched on this a minute ago, really has to do with we have to understand that not everybody is where we're at as leaders in believing in this industry, believing in the products, knowing the integrity of it works specifically. And so I think there's a couple things we can do to help them get there. Obviously, we're encouraging them to do all the things we just talked about plugging in, but I also think we as leaders need to help our new people learn their personal strengths and gifts. I know we're all becoming very well knowledgeable about the color personalities. So helping them uncover what their primary personality color is, and then also helping them learn how they can use that to their advantage, and also learning what their weaknesses are going to be, because I think knowledge is power when we know what our strengths and our weaknesses are, and we're just deceiving ourselves and our team if we pretend like they're good at everything. And I look at what the Bible says about the body of Christ. I mean, we're not all the same, nor were we put together that way on purpose. And if we are, this is going to be a pretty boring place, not only in the world in general, but within it works. And so I love knowing we all have different strengths and talents, and we can come together as a team. I mean, again, I know we're all out there building our own businesses, and we're here to create income, but at the end of the day, we can complete each other. And I love when Mark says that. We don't compete with one another. We complete one another because we all are wired differently. We all have different colors of the rainbow shining out of us. And I think it's our job as leaders to help our people uncover their hardwiring and their giftings. And just a couple real concrete things you can do. If they haven't taken their color personality test, have them do that. If you haven't taught your team what color personalities are, maybe you could take time to have a conference call to do that. If you have all your team in your area, get together one night at your house and have fun with the color personality traits. If you've never done the Strength Finders 2.0 assessment, I highly recommend you do that. And then I highly encourage you to get your teams doing that and have them report back what their strengths are. And chances are you will have been able to pick out one or two, but maybe not all 3 or 4 or 5 that they are listed. And I think it'll help you to understand how you can mentor and support your team member better. But also, they can know about you, too, so that they can also see areas where you're going to be a strength for them, a pillar for them. And I was just taught that sometimes these strengths change, especially when you go through major transitions in life. And so if you haven't done that in a handful of years, it might be time to do that again, just to kind of see where you are. And I know we're always growing and evolving, and so those things might change. But I think as leaders, it's our job to help equip our team members with knowing where their strengths lie. And really that comes back to where do they have fun? What really drives them? What are they passionate about? If it's the products, then let them be excited about the products. Let them share the products with passion, because that's what's going to be a cornerstone for them in their business. Now, with that said, Debbie, I know you said you've been doing some reading here lately, and there's an activity that you do personally that has just really helped you in this area of confidence and belief.
You know, Cammie, it's really interesting to watch all this happen and have it all unfold. You know, like you said, it's a personal development plan with an unbelievable compensation plan. We don't really know that we're going to grow so much through this journey. But, you know, one of the things I've been studying is that, you know, self-image it controls what you can and cannot accomplish. You know, Zig Ziglar says it best, the salesman's self-image has a direct bearing on his success. Well, the cool thing about with your self-image, it can be changed. You know, a lot of people will say, well, I've tried positive thinking. I try to think I'm going to do well, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, the key is, how are you thinking about yourself? Envision who you want to be. You know, have that confidence before you have that confidence, and just envision it in your mind. So one of the things I was reading is a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's very interesting. And he has a training exercise in there about theater of the mind. And, you know, to set aside a quiet time in the morning. I think we have so many distractions in life. We got to turn off our phone, you know, take 15, 30 minutes for yourself and start your day right. But, you know, put your phone away and imagine yourself being successful. And they say that one of the best ways to do it is actually picture yourself in a theater. Close your eyes, it's all quiet, and then envision exactly what you want yourself to look like up on that big screen, how you want yourself to be successful, and, you know, who you are, and getting you really specific on like what you're wearing, what you look like, what are the sounds around you, what are the smells around you, and just take that moment. For me, I like to just try to close my mind for a minute and picture that confidence. Sometimes when you're not feeling it, picture what that confidence is going to feel like before you with that person, before you pick up that phone call, before you get on a on a stage. So whatever it might be, it's just picturing yourself as being that successful person that you want to become.
I love it, Debbie, and that leads me to something that, again, Denise said at the training last week, and I loved it. And she said she tells people all the time, steal my confidence. So I was talking to my team, and they said we all need little bracelets that we put on that say, what would Cammie do? What would Debbie do? What would Kirsten do? You know, when you're meeting with a prospect, when you're out blitzing and you're afraid to hand up that card, you've got to wear that hat or wear that bracelet that reminds you to steal our confidence. What would Cammie do in this moment? What would Debbie do right here if she was in a one-on-one appointment with somebody who seemed really interested in the products and they're just engaging really well? They probably talk to them about the business. They probably see that they've got a lot of interest in the business side of things, you know. And I think sometimes when we put that perspective in the front of our minds, it changes the way we respond or act in certain situations. So, you know, I think the biggest thing we could do as leaders is to teach our team, when you're out there building that business and I'm not with you, remember I'm in your back pocket, and think, what would I do if I were with you, or what would you do if I was with you, because you'd be more confident having me there with you. I'm in your back pocket. You know more than you think you do. You're stronger than you think you are. Just do it, essentially, right? Just like Nike says. I do want to take a minute here, and Kirsten, I'm going to come to you too in a second here, because I know we've all been going back and forth about some different things we do to transfer belief to our teams, but also build confidence and belief within ourselves. And I do just want to take a minute here to talk to you guys about something, because, I don't think this is I feel like it's a locker room talk, and I feel like it's a warning, and it's also just wisdom for us to talk about building confidence versus being led by pride. And as leaders, and I have to keep myself in balance on a regular basis. I love when Mark and Pam and Mike said on the call on Sunday, they had us hashtag the word shumble for super humble. And I really thought that was interesting. I thought, ooh, isn't that interesting? Because I do believe one of the greatest enemies of this responsibility and leadership that we've been giving is pride. And yes, we want to be confident. Yes, we want to teach confidence within our team and raise their belief and raise their confidence. But I really believe that we have to be extremely careful with that fine line between confidence and between pride. And let me tell you what I mean by that for a minute, because, I try to think when other people reach out to me that aren't even on my team, or they're several levels down, or maybe it's not somebody I work with on a regular basis, or maybe it's somebody on my team and they ask me something that I'm like, are they really asking me that? Or they're scared to rep someone, and we've repped several people and they're going to ask me to rep. I think we have to be careful how we treat other people. And especially, I like to think of it this way. Like, as leaders, and I hear good things and bad things all the time, when my teammates are out there interacting with other leaders, I get good reports and I get bad reports. And it makes me so sad when I get the reports that are like, she wouldn't even talk to me because apparently she's too good for me. Or I'm not on her team, and so she wouldn't even acknowledge that I was there. And I just think we have to be careful as leaders, number one, to be humble, because how would we want our people being treated around other leaders, number one? But to whom much is given, much is required, and there is a great responsibility in this area of leadership. And I do think if we're not careful with this fine line of pride versus confidence, we'll get to a place where we can't relate, or we have a hard time validating the way that our new people feel or our emerging leaders feel. And when we do that we lose the ability to bring someone from point A to point B, or help them move and along that spectrum. And I think we just have to be careful that our title doesn't entitle us, but that we do stay humble. And I really like that word, shumble. I thought that was so funny. Only in It Works do we come up with our own vocabulary. Now, in Proverbs 11, verse 2, this is what it says, and it was in my quiet time earlier this week. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. That's Proverbs 11:2. I'm going to read that again. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Now, this isn't a conversation I would have with a brand new person, because I think right now they're just trying to have the confidence enough to hand out a blitz card, to put a rap on somebody, to call someone on their chicken list. But I think as leaders, we do really have to be careful and be wise to not allow the devil to fool us in this area, because I see it happening, and that just comes with success. And but I do think we need to be careful there, because we have so much on the line, and we are different. It Works is different, and I know to be the billion-dollar brand, we as leaders are going to need to lead in this area of humility. With humility comes wisdom, and so we want to stay super humble. All right, Kirsten, what are you thinking? We talked about a lot of things. You said that you don't necessarily use the word belief transfer or building, but what are some of the ways that you are helping your leaders and your new team members? I mean, oh my gosh, I got to believe your group is just doubling, tripling, quadrupling right now, especially with us just recently opening in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it, like Debbie was saying, is stuff that a lot of top leaders do. I had sayings on my mirrors for years about what I wanted to believe about myself, what I wanted to have in this business, and it truly does work. And I know essentially what we're doing is transferring a belief to our team, but sometimes I feel like the belief comes from their trust within us as well. So how I like to build that trust with it, because I think that will bring out the belief in people. And I find like having a new distributor push through and find some success, setting little goals with them, taking time for them, celebrating when they reach those little goals, but not downplaying it too much, like find your ID and let's have a party on Facebook for you. You know, just really making it realistic and actually helping them feel like they've accomplished a very big deal, not underplaying it so it's so that can almost do the opposite effect, I find, but sitting down with them and coming up with a little goal and having them achieve it and really feeling that success is going to instill a lot of belief. I also find that, you know what, if you can sit down with them and have them make one of their chicken calls together, be there for them, do the Skype date with them, have a 3-way call, show them that you're there for them, build that trust factor, and it's going to build their belief in the system, because at the end of the day, that's transferring our belief to them. We're showing them that this company is so worth it, and your business is so worth it that I'm going to make the time for you. That's another way to transfer belief without actually saying, here, I need to give you some of my belief, take my belief. You know what? I'm all about let's be proactive. I'm going to show you I believe, and I'm just going to do it with you. And I find that is quite effective with new people. And you don't even have to have the talk about, do you believe in Mark? Do you believe in Pam? Because they're like, I'm not even sure who this Mark character is half the time, right? I mean, maybe they don't even know who the CEO is. They don't know who Mike is. Mike impacts me. Pam impacts me. Their words make me want to do better. But that's not necessary for a newbie. They just want to know someone's going to be there for them at the end of the day if they have a question they need to be asked. So that I feel like is the start of the belief transfer. It's not even saying there's a belief transfer. It's showing there's a belief transfer. That's what I find effective with my new distributors.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love because you're right, success breeds confidence. And if we can help them have little wins, it's going to drive them to bigger wins. And agree,
totally.
We're not underplaying it. We're not overplaying it. We're seriously giving them baby steps. And it's like every baby step leads to a bigger step. And I love that. I'm writing it down and making it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How about you, Debbie? Do you have anything you want to add to that? Something specific
I love it, you guys.
For your team?
I love it. I love how you said success breeds confidence, and activity produces confidence. You know, just those little steps. Because if you don't do anything, you're frozen. And that activity helps you get that confidence. That the confidence helps you get more successful. It just kind of all ties all together. But I want to just mention one other thing, Cammie, with that book I was reading. You know, they talked about great golfers. You know, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. They said that they referred to this as often as the mental side of golf. And not that I'm a golfer at all, but I really resonated with this. And they said golfers have stated that the average golfer spends 86% doing nothing but wrestling with their thoughts and their emotions. So if we look at it this way, 86% of the success is determined by what you're thinking. And it's so much in the self-image, you know, just like you said, and a lot of people have said, if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. And, you know, specifically, all of our actions, feelings, and they're all consistent with our self-image. And I just would love everybody on this phone, when they hang up, look in the mirror and say, you are worthy. You are worthy of this success, and, you know, it's all in your self-image, and spend some time with that, because I think it's powerful.
Well, and that just makes me think, Debbie, as leaders, they're like Kirsten was saying with Mike and Pam and Mark, when they reach out and connect with her, or they encourage her, or they edify her, that does so much for her, and how much each one of us has the ability to do that for our people. And for those of you on the phone that are diamonds, do you know you have distributors, executives, rubies, emeralds that feel that way about you? I know you guys look up to some of us, and we look up to Mark, but at the end of the day, this is something each one of us plays a role into. And Debbie, I love that. Not only should we get off the phone and say, I'm worthy, because I think we as leaders sometimes struggle with, are we worthy? Did we get here on accident, or did we get here because we really did know what we were doing, and we can go out and do it again? And you know, I think, yes, we've got to say we're worthy, but I want you to tell no less than 5 people today on your team that they are worthy of this success, that you see them having success, and to set a small goal with them. So that, like Kirsten said, they can success breeds confidence. And Debbie, I love it. Action breeds confidence. And it reminded me, you guys, practice breeds confidence. I mean, at the end of the day, the more we go out and put a wrap on somebody, the more we see the results, the more we do follow-up calls, the more we hand out blitz cards. That doesn't mean it gets easier. We just get better at it. We get stronger at it. It's like exercising a muscle. And so, if you want that muscle memory to be there, that you have an automatic response when you're doing follow-up, and there's confidence in that. When you practice something, there's confidence. Whether you're an athlete getting ready to play a big game, you practice, you do your homework, you scout the other team. I think when you do your due diligence and you practice and get the information you need, and then practice, that breeds confidence as well, and it will help you conquer the fears and the emotions that you might be feeling. And Debbie, I thought about that because you were talking about the golfers. I read the book Fearless Golf, and it talked a lot about the emotions and the mind, but then it talked a lot about how the reason, the difference between the best golfers and the ones that are good is often the practice and then taking control of their mind. And so, again, I just love this. I'm so excited. I'm all fired up. All right. So, anything you guys want to add before we close out this call? And I did record it because I'm sure there was plenty of people that could not get on today.
I would love to leave them with a little visualization and a little bit of thought, because a lot of times we'll attend conferences, we'll be on phone calls, we'll attend a team training, and we get so pumped up and so motivated, and we leave, and something can deflate us really quickly. So I want to do a quick little visualization. I want you to imagine a little circle around you. I want you to picture what that is. That's your it works. That's your belief. That's your belief in the company, the products. It's the belief in yourself. All of this is in this big circle. And when you go out there and you go home, and your mom, your cousin, your friend, someone on Facebook, someone you blitz, someone who says no, someone who tries to cut you down, I want you to understand you have a belief in yourself, and you stay strong in that belief. Now, everyone is entitled to their own belief, and I think we should respect that other people have a belief as well. And so when someone comes up to you after a team training, and you're high and mighty, and you're so excited, and they want to burst your bubble because it's going to happen, have them say it. Let them say it. Be okay with it. Respect it. Respect that it's their belief, and you decide if that belief is allowed into your circle or not. And then you decide and have the confidence to say, do I believe that too? No, I don't. Okay, I'm going to release it. It's not allowed in my circle. And if it is a belief that you do believe, then allow it in and embrace it and fix it, or do whatever you need to do with it. But imagine that circle around you. Stay strong in your beliefs about yourself, the organization, and this company, and then you will honestly have no problems. And if you can respect that other people have beliefs, I think that is part of the bigger picture, and just allow everyone to have their own set of them, but just decide what's yours.
No, I love it, because just because that's their opinion doesn't mean it has to be yours. Although, I love it because, again, you just laid an example of being humble, Kirsten, because you're listening. Is that something that I want to allow in my circle, or is it not? So, awesome. Okay, I wrote that down. I'm going to do it. How about you, Debbie? Any last-minute thoughts?
Oh my gosh, this is also good. Just like Kirsten was saying, it destroys our self-confidence by remembering those failures. And, just forget about them. Wipe that slate clean, and today's a new day, and hang out with the symbols of the It Works family. That all and that we're to get better together, right?
Yes, I totally. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today on our call, and I'm really excited. We'll get this recording out there. Again, I know we're all really focused on sponsoring new people, bringing in new customers, putting a wrap on people. It's exactly where our focus should be. But I think there's small things we can be doing as our teams are growing so quickly to make sure that their foundation is strong and that it won't be shook. We all know that when there's seasons of momentum, we don't want to stop it. We just want to steer it. But it's important to continue to develop ourselves and grow as leaders so we can invest in our team and we have that retention over the long haul as well. Next month, so we're talking the first Tuesday in April, I'm really excited because we are going to be talking about branding yourself. And as a leader, once you hit that position of diamond and above especially, you really should be working to brand yourself. And what does that look like? And I'm excited because I'm going to have two amazing leaders on that call with me as well. And I will look forward to being here with you again the first Tuesday in April at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard. So go ahead and mark your calendars now, and we'll see you then. Thank you, everybody, for plugging in, and both Kirsten and Debbie, I appreciate you guys joining me today and all the wonderful information that I was able to learn from you. Thank you.
Thanks,
you guys. Thanks, Cammie. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Debbie.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.